Justin Martyr's The First Apology. Chapter 1. Address. To the Emperor Titus Aelius Antoninus Pius Augustus Caesar, and to his son Verissimus the philosopher, and to Lucius the philosopher, the natural son of Caesar and the adopted son of Pius, a lover of learning, and to the sacred senate with the whole people of the Romans, I, Justin, the son of Priscus and grandson of Bacchus, natives of Flavia Neapolis, in Palestine, present this address and petition in behalf of those of all nations who are unjustly hated and wantonly abused, myself being one of them. Chapter 2. Justice Demanded. Reason directs those who are truly pious and philosophical to honor and love only what is true, declining to follow traditional opinions, if these be worthless. For not only does sound reason direct us to refuse the guidance of those who did or taught anything wrong, but it is incumbent on the lover of truth, by all means, and if death be threatened, even before his own life, to choose to do and say what is right. Do you then, since you are called pious and philosophers, guardians of justice and lovers of learning, give good heed and hearken to my address? And if you are indeed such, it will be manifest. For we have come not to flatter you by this writing, nor please you by our address, but to beg that you pass judgment after an accurate and searching investigation, not flattered by prejudice or by a desire of pleasing superstitious men, nor induced by irrational impulse of evil rumors, which have long been prevalent, to give a decision which will prove to be against yourselves. For as for us, we reckon that no evil can be done to us, unless we be convicted as evildoers or be proved to be wicked men, and you can kill but not hurt us. Chapter 3. Claim of judicial investigation. But lest anyone think that this is an unreasonable and reckless utterance, we demand that these charges against the Christians be investigated, and that if these be substantiated, they be punished as they deserve. Or rather, indeed, we ourselves will punish them. But if no one can convict us of anything, true reason forbids you, for the sake of a wicked rumor, to wrong blameless men, and indeed rather yourselves, who think fit to direct affairs, not by judgment, but by passion. And every sober-minded person will declare this to be the only fair and equitable adjustment, namely that the subjects render an exceptional amount of their own life and doctrine, and that on the other hand, the rulers should give their decision in obedience not to violence and tyranny, but to piety and philosophy. For thus would both rulers and ruled reap benefit. For even one of the ancients somewhere said, unless both rulers and ruled philosophize, it is impossible to make states blessed. It is our task, therefore, to afford to all an opportunity of inspecting our life and teachings, lest on account of those who are accustomed to be ignorant of our affairs, we should incur the penalty due to them for mental blindness. And it is your business, when you hear us, to be found as reason demands good judges. For if when you have learned the truth, you do not what is just, you will be before God without excuse. Chapter 4. Christians unjustly condemned for their mere name. By the mere application of a name, nothing is decided, either good or evil, apart from the actions implied in the name. And indeed, so far at last as one may judge from the name we are accused of, we are most excellent people. But as we do not think it just to beg to be acquitted on account of the name, if we be convicted as evildoers, so on the other hand, if we be found to have committed no offense, either in the matter of thus naming ourselves or of our conduct as citizens, it is your part very earnestly to guard against incurring just punishment, but unjustly punish those who are not convicted. For from a name neither praise nor punishment can reasonably spring, unless something excellent or base in action be proved. And those among yourselves who are accused, you do not punish before they are convicted. But in our case, you receive the name as proof against us. In this, although, so far as the name goes, you ought rather to punish our accusers. For we are accused of being Christians, and to hate what is excellent, Christian is unjust. Again, if any of the accused deny the name and say that he is not a Christian, you acquit him as having no evidence against him as a wrongdoer. But if anyone acknowledges that he is a Christian, you punish him on account of this acknowledgement. Justice requires that you inquire into the life both of him who confesses and of him who denies, that by his deeds it may be apparent what kind of man each is. For as some who have been taught by the Master Christ not to deny him, give encouragement to others when they are put to the question, so in all probability do those who lead wicked lives give occasion to those who, without consideration, take upon themselves or take upon them to accuse all the Christians of impiety and wickedness. And this also is not right. For a philosophy too, some assume the name and garb who do nothing worthy of their profession, and you are well aware that those of the ancients whose opinions and teachings were quite diverse are yet all called by the one name of philosophers. And of those some taught atheists, and to the poets who have flourished among you rise a laugh out of the uncleanness of Jupiter with his own children. And those who now adopt such instruction are not restrained by you, but on the contrary, you bestow prizes and honors upon those who euphoniously insult the gods. Chapter 5. Christians charged with atheism. Why then should this be? In our case, who pledge ourselves to do no wickedness, nor to hold these atheistic opinions, you do not examine the charges made against us, but yielding to unreasoning passion and to the instigation of evil demons, you punish us without consideration of judgment. For the truth shall be spoken, since of old these evil demons, affecting apparitions of themselves, both defiled women and corrupted boys, and showing such fearful sights to men, that those who did not use their reason in judging of the actions that were done were struck with terror, and being carried away by fear, and not knowing that these were demons, they called them gods, and gave to each the name which each of the demons chose for himself. And when Socrates endeavored, by true reason and examination, to bring these things to light and deliver men from the demons, then the demons themselves, by means of men who rejoiced in iniquity, compassed his death as an atheist and a profane person, on the charge that he was introducing new divinities. And in our case, they display a similar activity. For not only among the Greeks did reason, logos, prevail to condemn these things through Socrates, but also among the barbarians were they condemned by reason, or the word, the logos himself, who took shape and became man, and was called Jesus Christ. And in obedience to him, we not only deny that they who did such things as these are gods, but assert that they are wicked and impious demons, whose actions will not bear compassion with those even of men desirous of virtue. Chapter 6. Charge of atheism refuted. Hence we are called atheists, and we confess that we are atheists so far as gods of this sort are concerned, but not with respect to the most true God, the Father of righteousness and temperance and the other virtues, who is free from all impurity. But both him and the Son, who came forth from him and taught us these things, and the host of the other good angels who follow and are made like him, and the prophetic spirit we worship and adore, knowing them in reason and truth, and declaring without grudging to everyone who wishes to learn as we have been taught.